I find that setting ground rules really helps keep the meetings on track and helps keep people unfocused and deals with a lot of the issues when you have trouble with people who don't always get along really well. So I've got 17 different points here, and of course you can use your own, but feel free to borrow any of these. So the first one is to be on time. So it's a ground rule that they need to be on time for the meeting. No mobile devices to be used during the meeting other than they can be used for taking notes, but they must be set on airplane mode. There can't be any email coming through, any phone calls, any texts, that kind of thing, because it interrupts the meeting. They have to treat each other with respect, and there's no personal attacks. So you're not going to be, attacking people, saying they're stupid and things like that. You want to treat them with respect. You want to challenge the ideas, not people. So if you don't think the idea is good, say, well, in my experience, I think that this would, this might work better this way, or my idea is this, rather than saying, well, that's a stupid idea. That's dumb. What were you thinking? Now, the next two are really tough. The ground rule number 6 and 7. And they go together. They have to go together. Otherwise, it doesn't work very well. So ground rule number 6, which is very hard to train people in, is one person speaks at a time and nobody else interrupts. Wow. Imagine, in most, even our daily conversations, watch how often people interrupt each other. Often when people aren't really fully listening, they're actually just waiting for someone to pause so they can get their point in. So that's really tough to not do. But that has to be coupled with number 7, where speakers must come to their point immediately, then stop to allow others to provide feedback. Otherwise, one person could talk for the whole meeting and nobody else would talk, because some people just go on and on and on. So these are the 2 key points, and this is where a really strong moderator has to step in and say, excuse me, Bob was speaking, we can't interrupt. Or, you might have to say, Susan, we need you to bring, can you make the point on this, because we need to get through this stuff. So those 2 go together. One person speaking at a time without interruption, and the speakers themselves have to come to their point quickly and stop to allow others to do feedback. Number 8, we mentioned this one before, but topics not already on the agenda will not be discussed. They can be submitted for inclusion in future meetings and future agendas. Respect the meeting's intent. Like, what's the overall purpose of the meeting? Let's stay on that track. That the meeting's intent is to come up with an action plan for the new marketing campaign. Let's stick with that. Let's not, then go off into human resource issues and other things as well. When you're brainstorming, you want to capture ideas without judgment and then just assemble them later. So brainstorming is a little bit different if you're doing that kind of a meeting. Tell people to check their ego at the door. Their ideas and opinions will be challenged, and that's normal, and that's what's supposed to be happening. Tell people they have to focus on the positive and what can be taken action on. So don't just say, oh, well, this is horrible, or this part's not working well, or shipping's not doing their job. Instead, we need to say, we've had a lot of complaints from clients about the shipments not getting on time. What can we do to improve this? What action can we take? And you want to be getting people to provide solutions, not just pointing out the problems. Say, no, there's no playing devil advocate here. What's your potential solution? So if you've got a problem, come to us with some potential solutions. And it's important that people own their own opinions. When they say, well, everybody feels this way, no, they are only responsible for their own opinion, and that's the only person that they're speaking for. Everybody has to commit to stay on the agenda and to move the discussions forward. No side conversations going on. You want to focus on the person who's speaking. There shouldn't be 3 or 4 little conversations going on the side. And if people feel the ground rules aren't being followed, they should, bring the issue up to the meeting facilitator to point out. So, wow, that's a lot to get through, 17 there. And again, you can adjust this. Create your own ground rules, have them on the wall or hand them out to participants. Remind the people of the rules when they stray. Remember the rule, the rule 6 is not interrupt, So, and it's very tough to do. I just set up a brand new meeting for a nonprofit group the other night, and I had to continually remind people, no, we don't interrupt, remember? So it takes a while for people to learn.